Welcome to this video on the life of Theodore Roosevelt, one of the most influential and dynamic figures in American history. Roosevelt lived an extraordinary life, filled with adventure, accomplishment, and controversy. From his early years as a sickly child to his presidency and beyond, Roosevelt's story is one of courage, perseverance, and leadership. Early life and education. Theodore Roosevelt was born in New York City in 1858, the second of 4 children. As a child, he was sickly and suffered from asthma, which left him isolated and weak. However, his father encouraged him to pursue outdoor activities and exercise, and Roosevelt soon developed a love for hunting, fishing, and exploring the natural world. Despite his health problems, Roosevelt excelled in his studies and went on to attend Harvard University. There, he studied biology and history, and became interested in politics and public service. After graduation, he enrolled in law school but dropped out to pursue a career in politics. Rise to power. Roosevelt's political career began in the New York State Assembly, where he quickly gained a reputation as a reformer and a champion of the people. He fought against corruption and advocated for social and economic justice, earning the respect and admiration of his constituents. In 1884, Roosevelt suffered a devastating personal tragedy when his wife and mother both died on the same day. Grief-stricken, he retreated to the Dakotas and spent several years ranching and exploring the frontier. There, he honed his skills as a hunter, cowboy, and adventurer, and gained a deeper understanding of the natural world. In 1895, Roosevelt returned to New York and was appointed as a civil service commissioner. He continued his crusade against corruption and inefficiency, and in 1897 he became the police commissioner of New York City. In that role, he worked tirelessly to clean up the city's police department, rooting out corrupt officers and implementing reforms to improve public safety. Spanish-American War. In 1898, Roosevelt left his job as police commissioner to join the military in the Spanish-American War. He led a group of volunteers known as the Rough Riders, in a successful charge up San Juan Hill in Cuba, becoming a national hero in the process. Governorship and presidency. After the war, Roosevelt returned to politics and was elected governor of New York in 1898. He quickly made a name for himself as a reformer, taking on powerful business interests and pushing for progressive policies. In 1901, he became Vice President of the United States, and when President William McKinley was assassinated later that year, Roosevelt became the youngest person ever to serve as president. As president, Roosevelt continued his progressive agenda, advocating for conservation, labor rights, and trust busting. He signed the Pure Food and Drug Act and the Meat Inspection Act, which helped to protect consumers from dangerous and unregulated products. He also established the first national parks and wildlife refuges, setting aside millions of acres of land for future generations to enjoy. Roosevelt's foreign policy, known as the Big Stick policy, emphasized American power and intervention in world affairs. He oversaw the construction of the Panama Canal, which helped to facilitate trade and travel between the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. He also helped to broker peace between Russia and Japan in the Russo-Japanese War, earning the Nobel Peace Prize in 1906. Later years. After leaving the presidency in 1909, Roosevelt went on a series of expeditions to Africa and South America, studying wildlife and exploring new territories. He also remained active in politics, running for president again in 1912 as a Progressive Party candidate. Unfortunately, Roosevelt lost the 1912 election to Woodrow Wilson, but he continued to be a prominent public figure and a strong voice for progressive causes. During World War I, he supported the United States' entry into the conflict and advocated for a strong military response. In 1918, Roosevelt's health began to decline, and he suffered a heart attack that left him weakened. Despite his poor health, he continued to write and speak out on issues that he cared about, including conservation and the role of the United States in world affairs. In 1919, Roosevelt died at his home in New York City at the age of 60. His legacy, however, lived on. He had been a trailblazer in American politics, paving the way for future leaders to pursue progressive reforms and champion the causes of justice and equality. Theodore Roosevelt was a complex and fascinating figure whose life story continues to inspire people today. He overcame personal challenges and setbacks to achieve great things, and he left a lasting mark on American history. Whether as a soldier, a politician, or an explorer, Roosevelt embodied the spirit of adventure and the pursuit of excellence that has come to define the American experience.